Hello, listeners. Welcome back to Quick Projects, where we uncover hard hitting truths behind lesser known yet significant global issues. Today, we're talking about something horrifyingly real: female genital mutilation, FGM, a practice that has affected over 230 million women and girls worldwide. And despite global outrage, it still persists. So, why is FGM still happening? Who benefits from it? What are the hidden economic and political interests? And most importantly, what does the future hold? Buckle up, because this is going to be an eye opener. FGM isn't some medieval practice lost in time. It's happening right now, in 2024. The World Health Organization, WHO, defines it as all the procedures involving partial or total removal of external female genitalia or an injury for non medical reasons. Sounds horrifying, isn't it? FGM is categorized into four types, and none of them have any health benefits. Starting with the first, clitoridectomy, removal of the clitoris; excision, removal of the clitoris and inner labia; infibulation, narrowing of the vaginal opening by sewing the outer labia together. And other practices include pricking, piercing, burning, or even stretching. Let's be blunt, this is not a tradition or culture. This is mutilation, period. Many think of FGM as a third world problem. Wrong. It's happening in places you wouldn't expect. For example, Africa, Somalia, Guinea, and Egypt have the highest rate, with over 85% of women affected. In Middle East, FGM is widely practiced in Yemen, Iraq, and parts of Iran. In Asia, some communities in India, Malaysia, and Indonesia still perform FGM. Europe, and the US. Due to migration, an estimated of 500,000 women in Europe and 513,000 in the US are at risk. Even in countries where it's illegal, underground networks ensure it continues. It's a multi billion-dollar black market industry. Follow the money and you will find the truth. So, who benefits from FGM? Well, traditional clutters. Some women make a living performing FGM, earning up to $100 per procedure in some regions. There are many private clinics. Medicalized FGM is growing, where doctors perform it for profit under the guise of safety. Religious extremists. Despite no mention in any major religious text, some groups push FGM as a religious duty. It's always the same story: control women's bodies and call it tradition. FGM doesn't just scar bodies, it destroys lives. Here's what survivors face: in immediate consequences, severe pain, blood loss, infections, and even death. In long term consequences, there is chronic pain, complications during childbirth, infertility, and urinary problems. There is an increased HIV risk due to the use of unsterilized blades. Then, PTSD, depression, anxiety become common. Many survivors report lifelong sexual dysfunction and fear of intimacy. It's not just a cut, it's a lifetime of trauma. Ever noticed how in many FGM practicing communities, girls are also married off young? This is no coincidence. In Ethiopia, 88% of married girls have undergone FGM. In Sudan, families believe FGM ensures a girl stays pure until marriage. In parts of Kenya, uncut girls are deemed unmarriageable, forcing families to comply. It's not about culture, it's about controlling women from birth to death. Why hasn't FGM been eradicated? Let's talk about the government's hypocrisy. Some countries have laws, but zero enforcement. Nigeria banned FGM in 2015, yet it still affects 19% of girls under 14. Corrupt officials protect FGM practitioners because they get profit by the system. In some places, legal loopholes exist. In the UK, families simply fly girls abroad for cutting, known as FGM tourism. Laws exist, but without enforcement. They're as useful as a screen door on a submarine. The good news? People are fighting back. Brave survivors speak out. Women like Jaha Dukure in Gambia and Ifra Ahmed in Somalia have turned their trauma into activism. The youth are saying no. In Kenya, teenage girls are forming support groups to reject FGM. Some countries now offer reconstructive surgery for survivors. The world is waking up. But the fight, it's far from over. Think this issue is too far from home? Think again. FGM isn't just about someone else's problem. It's a global human rights issue. Here's what you can do to help. Raise awareness. Share this podcast, post about it, talk about it, support organizations. Groups like the Orchid Project, Equality Now, and the UNICEF work tirelessly to end FGM. Pressure lawmakers, demand strict laws and enforcement. And finally, educate the next generation. The best way to stop FGM? Teach young girls their rights. Change starts with awareness. If you made it to the end of this episode, you've already taken the first step. Now, let's make noise and fight back. This is Manpreet, and thank you for tuning in to this episode of Quick Projects. If this discussion shook you, good, it should. Share this episode, get involved, and remember, silence allows oppression to thrive. Till then, keep thinking.